Hi, welcome to Sue Marie P. My name's Sue and today I'm going to share a gluten-free dessert. It's my chocolate date and almond torte. It's so delicious. It's kind of like a meringue cake. You need to make it the day before and then decorate it the next day once it's all cooled down. But it's so simple. It's got 5 ingredients: dark chocolate, dark chocolate, egg whites, caster sugar, dates, and flaked almonds, or you can use chopped hazelnuts. So that's it. So if you'd like to see my cake or date torte, come with me and let's see. Apologies, I've got a little bit of a tickle in my throat. It's kind of hay fever season here in the UK. First step you need to do is to pop your oven on to 160 degrees C fan forced, or 180 without a fan, and I'll pop the Fahrenheit measurement above as usual. In this bowl we need to crack or separate the egg yolks from the egg whites. I've started with 2. I'm just going to continue with the other ones. And if you're new here today, thank you for clicking on. Welcome. I usually bake with a lot of spelt flour and buckwheat flour, but I also like doing gluten-free ideas. And I just had to quickly move that egg yolk before it went into my egg whites. So it's very tricky to try and separate them sometimes. Okay, the tricky bit's done. I've separated them all. And I'm just storing my leftover egg yolks in a jar. So I've put 3 in one jar and 2 in the other. I'll pop those in the fridge, and I need to create something with the egg yolks now. So if you've got any ideas on what to do with leftover egg yolks, pop a comment below. I'd love to know your ideas. Now, this will only work if you've got an electric stand mixer or handheld electric beaters, or if you've got really big guns on your arms and you can whisk egg whites by hand. I don't. I have a friend that can, but I'm not strong enough, so I always use my stand mixer. If I can click it on properly, Sue. I think this stand mixer is made for right-handed and I'm left-handed. Does anyone else have that problem? I'm going to stop talking and mix this on low to start with to get it bubbly, and it'll take about 5 to 7 minutes to get the stiff peaks. You need to chop up your dates. So I'm using what's called medjool dates, the big soft ones, 200 grams. So I've split them open, taken the seed out and cut them off the edge. So I've already got them all nice and chopped, ready to go. And I'm cheating and using flaked almonds. I've got 200 grams all ready to go out of the packet. But if you can't get flaked almonds, you can use chopped whole almonds or hazelnuts or any nut of your choice. And here I've got 200 grams of dark chocolate, which I've started chopping up just with a big knife, and I'm going to continue doing that. You could also, I haven't done it, but you could probably use chocolate chips if you didn't want to bother chopping up the chocolate. But I love the slithers of chocolate in the cake. The story behind this cake or dessert is a friend of mine made it for me back in Melbourne when I was gluten intolerant and I couldn't eat any wheat. I recently asked her for a copy of the recipe. We're not sure of the source, and I've tweaked the original recipe. It was originally made with hazelnuts, but I'm doing it with the flaked almonds, and I've changed the quantity slightly. And it's not too sweet, there's not too much sugar. The chocolate's all chopped and ready to go. This is looking good. Let me just double check it. I'll turn it off. So the peaks still aren't really formed, so I'm going to keep it going. Let's have another check. So there's peaks forming now. So the next step is I've got 100 grams of caster sugar, and I'm going to slowly add that in. I'll pop some other measurements up above. Just want to make sure that's all whipped together and the sugar's dissolved. So now that's all whipped, we're going to pop in the almonds, 200 grams. We've got 200 grams of the soft chopped dates. I'm just going to try and separate those as I pop them in, because now we need to gently fold all this in without destroying the fluffy egg whites. And if I can get all this chocolate in without making it go all over my bench. Let's clean off my sticky fingers. And then I've got my silicone spatula here. I'm just going to gently fold all this together without destroying the fluffiness. So it's just so they're all combined. I think that'll be okay. I don't want to keep playing with it. I prepared my 20 centimetre springform cake tin with a removable ring, and you just line it with foil. And I like to place it on a baking tray just in case this spills and it's easy to get in and out of the oven. So if you're looking for inspiration for Easter, I know Easter's the time where people celebrate with their families, and you've got a guest that's gluten-free and doesn't want anything too sweet, then this is perfect. You can make it the day before when the oven's free, or even 2 days ahead of time. Lasts for about 2 or 3 days once it's all decorated. You chill it overnight in the fridge and then decorate the next day, and you've got a gluten-free dessert. I'm just smoothing over the bumpy bits so it's even without touching it too much. Okay, the light just went off, so we can bake it in our warm oven for 45 minutes and it will go all golden brown. Time is going off. The next step is, I've zoomed you in to show you, I need to let it cool in the oven. So I'll just leave the light on so you can see and show you if I can do it on the side and still talk to you. So that's what it looks like now, but we need to let it cool completely. So what I'll do, I'll place it back in the oven and we leave the door slightly ajar but off. So to recap, now I'm standing up. The torte's all baked and I need to let it cool in the oven for 2 hours with the door slightly ajar or slightly open. And then I take it out of the ring and flip it over and pop it on a serving platter, and I rest it in the fridge overnight. I'll come back tomorrow and show you how I serve it or decorate it and serve it. So it's the next day and I'm back with my chilled torte, and it's been in the fridge overnight. I removed the foil, placed it on my serving tray. Now I'm going to make the topping, and I'm going to do a cream cheese topping sweetened with a little bit of vanilla and icing sugar and topped with raspberries. If you don't like cream cheese, you can use just regular cream. Couldn't think of what I was trying to say then, but we prefer the flavour of the cream cheese. It's kind of almost like a cheesecake top. So that's just 1 tub of Philadelphia cream cheese, the full fat one, 180 grams. And I'm going to whip that up first. And I've had that sitting at room temperature for about half an hour, just so it's soft or softened. So now I'm going to add in, I've got this delicious thick vanilla paste, so I'm going to add a ½ teaspoon of that because it's quite rich. If you don't have vanilla paste, you can use vanilla extract, vanilla essence. And then I'm just going to sift over 1 tablespoon of icing sugar. I don't want it too sweet because I think there's enough sweetness in the actual cake. Keep calling it a cake, torte. I've got a few crusty bits of my icing sugar. Okay, give it another whip. I think that's perfect. So I'm going to now pop it on top of the torte. Okay, I'll use my spatula. I've got my torte sitting on Lazy Susan, so I can swivel it around if I need to. I think these 2 spatulas are my favourite tools in my whole kitchen. I have a lot of favourite kitchen tools. I love kitchen tools. I often get them for Christmas or my birthday. I know it's crazy, but yeah, I prefer kitchen tools over jewellery. Although I do like jewellery as well. Okay, stop talking and let's get this on. So I'm going to just dabble it so it's an even layer, and it doesn't have to be flat. I kind of like it a bit perfect. Oh, 1 tip. Yesterday when I was filming, I brought the torte out to show you, and it sunk in the middle a little bit. So a word of warning, don't do that, what I did, because it needs to just not be disturbed and chill or cool down in the oven. It's not a real thick layer, it's just a thin layer, but if you wanted more, I'm just doing it on the top, you can double the recipe. That is delicious. And then I'm just going to decorate them. I like starting on the outside. And you can be quite generous with them. And that one is slightly different size. I'm just going to maneuver them so these sizes kind of all look almost similar. That's a little one. I'm going to put the little ones in the middle if I can. It may not work out. I'll probably speed this up for you at home. I think that's all I'm going to get on. I've got a few left over, so I'll eat those. So there you have it. My chocolate date almond torte, gluten-free, a beautiful looking dessert. So I cut it open to do some photos and I changed my mind. I've come back to give you a taste test or to show you me eating it. It's not always the most glamorous thing, but it just looks so delicious. First bite, it's like dark chocolate, almonds, crunch with a little bit of cream cheese. That's a nice chunky bit of dates. And I love the balance of the cream cheese. It's kind of like a tartness against the sweetness of the dates. I know I have a lot of favourites, but I think this is probably up there in my top 10 desserts, top 10 favourite desserts. You'll have one piece and then you want to go back for a second. I'm not sure if that's a good thing for your waistline. Okay, so give this a go, share it with a friend, and I love getting your notes below, so send me a little note and let me know how you get on. Bye.